Heartbreak in Wuhan. Eala's shocking loss to Japan's Moyuka Uchijima. The city of Wuhan shimmered under the pale morning sun, its skyline reflected on the calm waters of the Yangtze River. The air buzzed with anticipation, not just for another day of tennis, but for a match that had captured the attention of the Asian tennis world. Eala, the pride of the Philippines, had arrived in Wuhan with momentum and hope. Fresh off her quarterfinal run in Suzhou, she had begun carving her name among Asia's elite. For Filipino fans, she wasn't just a tennis player. She was a symbol of resilience, youth, and national pride. But today's test would be unlike any other. Standing across the net was Moyuka Uchijima, Japan's quiet storm, disciplined, patient, and unrelenting. While not as flashy as her opponents, Uchijima was known for her ability to absorb pressure and strike at the perfect moment. The clash was set. Fiery instinct versus methodical precision. And for Alex, the morning carried both promise and premonition, a rising star's burden. Eala's rise had been meteoric. From her early days training in Mallorca to her first WTA title at just 17, she had become one of Southeast Asia's brightest hopes in world tennis. But with fame came pressure. Every match carried the weight of a nation. Every win was celebrated across Manila. Every loss dissected by critics who forgot she was still just a young woman learning, fighting, and dreaming. Wuhan was supposed to be another chapter in her comeback, a statement tournament. Her team had whispered all week, "This is your time, Alex. You're ready." And maybe she was, until the storm arrived, the opening rally. From the very first serve, something felt off. The Wuhan crowd, lively yet polite, sat in hushed curiosity as the match began. Alex opened aggressively, firing heavy forehands to Ukijima's backhand corner. Her first service game ended with an ace that drew cheers from the Filipino fans waving small flags in the stands. But Moyuka Uchijima wasn't rattled. She absorbed every heavy ball, sending them back deep, flat, and precise. Her calm demeanor was almost unnerving. Eala led 3-1 early, but the Japanese star began to find her rhythm, slicing, redirecting pace, dragging Alex side to side. Soon the tide turned. 3-1 became 3-3, then 3-5. Moments later, Uchijima sealed the first set 6-3 with an unreturnable serve. Alex walked to her chair, head down, towel over her face. Her coach tried to signal encouragement from the stands, but she barely looked up, the weight of silence. As the second set began, the energy around the court shifted. The Filipino crowd, once vibrant, grew tense. The Japanese fans began to chant softly in unison, their rhythm unsettlingly steady. Alex tried to shake it off. She fought hard, grunting on every swing, painting lines with her forehand. But Ukijima's defense was a wall. Every rally seemed to stretch longer, every point harder. At 2-2, Alex hit a blistering backhand winner and screamed, "Come on!" The crowd erupted, but her joy was fleeting. Uchijima responded with a composed service game, holding to love. Then she broke Alex's serve with quiet efficiency, no emotion, no celebration, just execution. Eala's frustration began to show. She looked toward her team, shaking her head after missed chances. Her racket trembled in her hands after a double fault. By 4-2, the match was slipping away. Flashbacks of fire. During the next changeover, Alex closed her eyes. In the hum of the crowd, memories began to swirl. Flashes of her first ITF title. The roar of Filipino fans after her U.S. Open Juniors triumph. The sound of her parents cheering through video calls. She had always been a fighter. The girl who wouldn't quit, who would chase every ball until the last point. "Not today," she whispered under her breath. "Not like this." When she returned to the court, something changed. Her feet moved faster. Her shots carried purpose again. Down 2-4, she broke Ukijima's serve after an intense 22-shot rally, sealing it with forehand blast that drew gasps from the stands. Then she held serve, leveling the score at 4-4. For a moment, the fire was back. The turning point. But Moyuka Uchijima was unshakable. Her composure, her greatest strength, became Alex's greatest challenge. At 4-5, serving to stay in the match, Alex hit her second double fault. The crowd groaned. She bit her lip, shaking her head. Uchijima pounced. A perfectly placed return forced Alex wide. Then another deep forehand cornered her again. Match point. The silence was heavy. Alex bounced the ball 5 times. Served. Fault. She tried again. A slower second serve. Uchijima attacked it instantly, driving it deep to Alex's backhand. Eala lunged, got a racket on it, but the ball floated long. It was over. 6-3, 6-4. Moyuka Uchijima had done it. A clinical, disciplined victory. The heartbreak moment. Alex froze for a second, staring at the mark where the final ball had landed. Then she closed her eyes, took a deep breath, and walked to the net. "Good match," she said softly, forcing a smile. Uchijima bowed slightly, her humility intact, and shook her hand. As a Japanese flag waved in the stands, the Filipino fans stood in solemn support. They clapped not out of disappointment, but respect for the fight, for the heart, for their champion who gave everything she had. Alex walked off the court slowly, towel over her shoulders, her eyes glistening. Cameras followed her every step, but she kept her head high. The locker room. Inside the quiet of the locker room, the echoes of applause faded. Alex sat alone, her racket bag beside her. Her phone buzzed endlessly. Messages of love, encouragement, sympathy. But she didn't look at them yet. Instead, she stared at her reflection in the mirror. Tired eyes, sweat-soaked hair, a mix of exhaustion and disbelief. Her coach, Carlos, entered quietly. "You played well, Alex." She shook her head. "I should have done more." Carlos sighed. "You did what you could." She played perfect tennis. "Sometimes that's enough to beat anyone." Alex bit her lip. "But I was so close again." He placed a hand on her shoulder. "You're 20. You've got time. Every loss teaches you something. Today wasn't failure, it was growth." She nodded silently. The press room, Grace under fire. Hours later, Alex faced the press. The reporter's flashes lit up her tired eyes, but her voice remained steady. Epilogue, the road ahead. Weeks later, Alex Eala was back on tour, this time in Seoul. The heartbreak of Wuhan still lingered, but it had transformed into fuel. She trained harder, focused deeper, and carried the lessons of that loss into every swing. Commentators began to notice. "Eala looks different, calmer, tougher," one said. And she did, because Wuhan had changed her, not by breaking her spirit, but by sharpening it. In an interview before her next match, a reporter asked, "Alex, how do you move on from a loss like Wuhan?" She smiled, her eyes gleaming. "You don't move on. You move forward. There's a difference. Moving on means forgetting. Moving forward means remembering and growing." The next time she stepped on court, she played with quiet fire. Every shot carried meaning. Every point was a reminder that heartbreak is only temporary, but heart itself is eternal. And somewhere in the echoes of Wuhan, a lesson remained. Even in defeat, champions are born. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and share. Till next time.